Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. Katie Thurston, the Bachelorette star, received the shock of her life earlier this year. She visited the doctor for testing after discovering a lump in her breast. She assumed the bump was a benign tumor, as do many women. However, the biopsy resulted with cancer. Katie Thurston discovered that her cancer had spread to her lungs after a terrifying misdiagnosis. Despite being 34 years old, she is optimistic about the outcome of her cancer treatment. She took to social media to discuss how embracing the cancer lifestyle has benefited her. Katie Thurston attempted to find a husband on several reality series. She appeared on Matt James' season of The Bachelor before being picked the lead in season 17 of The Bachelorette. She fell in love with Blake and became engaged, but the relationship ended after a year. Katie had a brief romance with Vince Su after they met on Island. However, it turned out that her husband was not on reality TV. She met Jeff Arcuri when she started her comedic career in Los Angeles. Katie Thurston first kept their romance a secret, but they went public in early 2024. They got engaged throughout the summer. He stood by her side when she was diagnosed with breast cancer earlier this year. They planned to elope in March rather than wait to marry. Jeff Arcuri is a renowned comedian. He was scheduled to go on tour around the time Katie discovered she had cancer. He postponed the tour briefly, but has spent the last 2 months in Europe on it. The Bachelorette star joined him in Italy and traveled to Greece at the end of the tour. They returned to the United States in preparation for an essential test in Katie Thurston's cancer journey. Katie Thurston will get a scan in a few days to see if her cancer is spreading or if her current treatment is helping. While in Greece, she took a social media sabbatical to focus on being present with her spouse. She returned to social media to provide an update on her life. Her video updates are fully unscripted, and she says whatever comes to mind in the moment. Her recent video was about how cancer changes your perspective on everything. She expressed that she is glad for each day that she is alive. Katie Thurston stated that this is part of the new cancer lifestyle she has adopted. In addition to the video addresses, Katie Thurston keeps followers updated via the Booby broadcast Instagram feed she developed. The remarks she delivered to Greek followers reflected her film about the cancer lifestyle she is currently living. "Overall, I'm doing fine, all things considered," she informed her followers. She stated that having her hubby home will significantly improve her mental health. The Bachelorette star vowed to keep fans updated on the test findings as she received them. Katie Thurston had never expected her life to twist and turn in the ways it had since first stepping into the spotlight as a contestant on Matt James' season of The Bachelor. Once known for her bold attitude and signature vibrator entrance, Katie had transformed over the years, from reality TV personality to stand-up comedian, and most recently, to a woman confronting the raw, unglamorous truth of breast cancer. Earlier this year, at just 34 years old, Katie visited her doctor for what she assumed would be a routine exam. She had found a small, firm lump in her breast during a shower but dismissed it at first. It was easy to write off as something benign, maybe a cyst or a fibroadenoma. It didn't hurt. It hadn't grown. There were no other symptoms. But after some gentle pressure from her fiancé, comedian Jeff Arcuri, she scheduled a checkup. The nurse practitioner had looked concerned during the palpation. Then came the mammogram, followed by the biopsy. Days later, Katie received the phone call that would alter her world entirely. The doctor's voice was calm, clinical even, but Katie heard only fragments: malignant, stage 2, additional scans. Her mind reeled. It was cancer. What made it more terrifying was what came next. Further imaging revealed that the cancer had spread, metastasized, to her lungs. It was a shocking blow, especially because her initial diagnosis had failed to detect it. What had begun as a precaution had spiraled into a life-changing discovery, riddled with fear and uncertainty. She had always considered herself tough, emotionally agile, even under public scrutiny. But now she was facing something that had no script, no rose ceremony, and no easy exit interview. Still, Katie wasn't one to stay down for long. Despite the devastating news, she leaned into the moment with a mix of gritty realism and dark humor. She took to social media just a week after receiving her full diagnosis. Her tone was honest, sometimes jarringly so, but it was refreshing. She posted a photo of herself in a hospital gown with a pink beanie on her head, captioned, "Turns out the biggest plot twist of my life wasn't on The Bachelorette." The post went viral, drawing support from fans, former contestants, and the wider entertainment community. Katie had once gone looking for love in front of millions, choosing Blake in the final episode of her Bachelorette season. They had shared a whirlwind engagement filled with laughter, activism, and travel. But the romance fizzled under the weight of real-world pressures, and within a year, it ended. She had a brief post-show romance with Vince Su, whom she met during the short-lived spin-off FBOY Island, but that, too, wasn't her forever. Ironically, Forever found her off-camera in a dingy comedy club in Los Angeles, where she first locked eyes with Jeff Arcuri. Jeff wasn't part of the reality TV world. He was a seasoned stand-up comic with a loyal following and a resume that included The Tonight Show and countless late-night spots. They met during an open mic night, where Katie was trying out new material as part of her comedy pivot. Jeff had offered her a drink afterward and complimented her timing. Their connection was instant but quiet, a contrast to the overproduced chaos she'd grown used to on television. At first, Katie kept their romance out of the public eye. She was hesitant. After all, public love stories had failed her before. But in early 2024, they went public with an Instagram reel captioned, "Not from a show, just real life." It showed the two of them on a beach in Malibu, Jeff kissing her forehead as Katie laughed into his hoodie. Fans were thrilled. Many commented that Jeff seemed like a real one, and as it turned out, he was. When Katie received her cancer diagnosis, he didn't flinch. He postponed his spring European tour, moved appointments, canceled shows. They chose to elope privately in March, exchanging vows in a small ceremony at a vineyard outside Santa Barbara. There were no roses, just lilacs and silence and a promise to keep showing up, no matter what. The next stop was Greece, a dream destination for Katie, one she had never visited during her globe-trotting bachelorette years. They spent their final week abroad in Santorini. Katie took a social media break for the first time in years. She wanted to be present. She wanted to hold Jeff's hand while watching the sun dip below the Aegean Sea without the urge to film it. Thanks for watching. If you likes this video, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and do not miss any update.